Welcome back. I'm going to continue with prepping the engine. I will take the alternator and power steering pump off. I want to give them a clean up before they go back on the engine. I also need to prep the intake manifold and check all the sensors. As I'm not running the air conditioning and I can tension the auxiliary pulley on the alternator, this can go. If I was really conscious of weight saving, I could cut this piece of the bracket off. However, I want to utilise these screw holes in case I need to make a bracket for something else. These bulky brackets can go too. The thread for the power steering pump on the engine block at the back is worn. I'm going to drill it out and then do a one-time tap with a new bolt, and then I'll leave it in. Ideally I want to put a helicoil in, but I don't have any here. I've had a go, but it's not going to be suitable. I will use a tap to oversize the thread, and then I'll know it's secure then. It's only mounted on 3 bolts and there's only one at the back, so it makes sense to not take any chances and do it properly. Now I have the fuel system off the intake manifold, I will try and explain the issues I have with this system. Currently the fuel supply works in this way. It comes up from the fuel tank and goes into the first fuel rail, runs all the way around to the back of the other fuel rail. By the time it goes from injector 1 all the way around to injector 4, there could be a drop in fuel pressure. In a higher horsepower engine this could be a problem. If it runs lean it could destroy the engine. The way to get around this is to run a parallel fuel supply. This means splitting the supply from the tank with a Y piece, which will supply the end of each fuel rail with equal fuel pressure. What I need to do is get an aftermarket fuel regulator with 2 inputs, so both return lines can go into the aftermarket regulator. This means I can take a section of the standard pipe out and utilise the barbed joins here and here. I hope that made a little sense and explains the reasons why I'm doing this. Now that I have all the bits apart, I can order the pieces I need to make the new fuel system. I also need to replace the damaged intake pipe, and I need to give all of these parts a good clean. I've just given the manifold a bit of an overhaul. The moulding for these inlets are notoriously bad. I've taken the worst of it off. Now I'm going to check what parts I need for this parallel fuel mod. Just to confirm, I can use the fuel line I already have. I also need to source a silicon adapter. This is for the joint between the intercooler inlet and the throttle body. To test it on the car, all I did was use a spare piece of rubber to bulk it up. Taking a break from cleaning the engine components, I'm going to get some pieces back in the car. I will install the footrest and the throttle pedal stop. I'm going to see if I can utilise this grip tape. The footrest is the same material as the 3 pedals. They are very slippy when wet. This might help with some grip. They probably won't last forever, but the good thing is they're not permanent. So if they are too grippy, I can pull them off. The next thing to install up under the dashboard is the electric heater. I have an original bulkhead fitting that was used for the air conditioning pipes. However, the heat hose is slightly bigger, so I've just bored it out. I have the wiring harness and the pollen filter. The bolts that I'm going to use to fasten the heater into the car, I'm going to reduce the length of them slightly. I know this is a bit extreme for saving weight, but like I keep saying, it all adds up. I've just gone ahead and made some bulkhead fittings. I had the correct size stainless pipe. I've just welded a shoulder on each side. This is where the fittings are going to go. I can simply connect the pipes to this from the engine side, and then the other end will go straight to the heater motor. I'm going to pack this out with some rubber just to take up any excessive vibration. I have changed my mind with the routing of the heater pipe. I'm going to run it straight through the bulkhead on this side. You can just about see where the pipes go into the heater motor. So it's a perfect line through that hole. I won't have to put a join in at all. This means I can connect the pipes straight to the engine.
have changed my mind again. I'll keep this free so I can use the gearbox loom bulkhead fitting. I have decided to use this access rather than that one, just because it would clear the intake pipe better where the pollen filter sits. Instead of using the joiners that are made for the heater hose, I'm going to run the pipe straight from the engine to the heater. This one's a bit longer in case I have to move it around to clear anything else that's going to be bolted into the engine bay. Next I'm going to install the pollen filter. That's it for another episode. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions about the build, leave them in the comments section and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done already, and I will see you next week.